disappointing. That it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways. We don't have to make the play that stops the run or the play that turns the tide.
4 quarters of really good basketball, and I think it's going to be a learning curve. But that's what's going to have to happen if we want to beat the really good teams in this league.
The WNBA just witnessed one of its most controversial moments yet, and fans can't stop talking. Caitlin Clark, the league's most talked about rookie, was knocked hard into a wall during a heated Indiana Fever game. The crowd gasped, commentators hesitated, but the referees barely reacted. What followed was outrage, disbelief, and a furious post-game statement from Fever head coach Stephanie White, who called out the referees for what she says was a blatant failure to protect players and ensure fairness. Was this just another tough play, or is Caitlin Clark being unfairly targeted? And more importantly, is there truth to the growing accusations that the WNBA is letting personal bias or politics influence the whistle? The collision that set everything off. The moment was brutal. Late in the third quarter, with the Indiana Fever trying to rally, Caitlin Clark attacked the baseline with purpose. Her trademark Iowa confidence was on full display as she weaved past defenders, eyes locked on the rim. But just as she cut inside, everything changed. Boom! Contact. A defender slammed into her with a hard shoulder check, sending Clark crashing into the padded wall behind the hoop. The crowd gasped. The arena went silent. It wasn't a play on the ball. There was no attempt to defend, just a blatant hit. Replays confirmed the worst. A forearm straight to Clark's body, delivered with intent. Teammates rushed to help her up as the officials reviewed the play. It was a jarring reminder of how physical and at times dangerous the game can be, especially when intensity crosses the line. Clark stood up, shaken but determined, her toughness never in doubt. Was it flagrant? Absolutely. Intentional? You bet. The refs? Silent. Caitlin Clark, known for her poise, picked herself up slowly. She shook it off like a warrior, but even from the nosebleeds, fans could tell something had changed. The crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse went from excited to enraged. The play was dirty, and everyone knew it, but the whistle never came. Stephanie White lost it, and rightfully so. Stephanie White, head coach of the Fever, didn't just lose her cool, she exploded. Visibly furious, she shouted at the officials, jabbing her finger toward the spot where Caitlin Clark was hit. Her voice echoed through the arena as she demanded answers. This wasn't just about one play or one player. White was standing up for her team, for fairness, and for the integrity of the game itself. Her passion made it clear. Enough was enough, and she wouldn't stay silent. The cameras caught her mouthing, "Are you kidding me? That's a flagrant." But no matter how loud she got, the refs wouldn't budge. No review. No technical, no call. The most infuriating part? This wasn't the first time. Since Clark entered the WNBA, she's been targeted, knocked down, elbowed, baited, and body-checked. And while the league celebrates her when it's convenient, they've done little to protect her on the court. White has watched it unfold game after game, and this time, she wasn't letting it slide. A pattern of disrespect. Let's call it what it is, a pattern. Since the start of the season, Caitlin Clark has been on the receiving end of cheap shots and no calls. She's been tripped, shoved, and even screamed at during dead balls. Opposing players clearly want to rattle her, and some refs seem content to let it happen. One moment that fans will never forget came earlier in the season when Clark was body slammed on a drive, and again, the refs just let it go. It's almost like there's a double standard. Rookie or not, she's a star, and stars are supposed to get some protection. Instead, Clark has become a lightning rod for the WNBA's officiating controversy. Fans have taken to social media, demanding answers. Clips of missed calls go viral nightly. It's not just bad for the Fever, it's bad for the league. Stephanie White knows that. And on this night, she reached her breaking point. The rigged loss. Let's get to the game itself. The Indiana Fever were clawing their way back. The team had battled injuries, foul trouble, and, no surprise, bad officiating all night. But even through that, they kept it close. And then came the final 2 minutes. The first call, a phantom foul on Aaliyah Boston that gave the opposing team 2 free throws. The second, a travel that somehow wasn't called on a spin move right before a game-sealing basket. The third, Clark got knocked down again with no call, this time as she was fighting through a screen. Each of those calls, or non-calls, directly influenced the score. The Fever should have had a chance to win or tie in the final possession. Instead, they were down 4, scrambling with seconds left, and never got a clean shot. That's when rigged started trending online. And this wasn't just fans being salty. Analysts, former players, and even journalists said the same thing. The officiating was suspect, inconsistent, and borderline corrupt. The league can't stay silent anymore. There's a difference between physical play and targeted abuse. What Caitlin Clark is enduring, it's getting dangerously close to the latter, and the league's silence is making it worse. When a star gets treated this way, on national television, game after game, it sends a message. It says, "We'll cash in on your name, but we won't stand up for your safety." That's a slap in the face, not just to Clark, but to every young player watching. Stephanie White made it crystal clear in the post-game presser. If this is how we're going to officiate, then we're not prioritizing the integrity of the game. She didn't drop names, but she didn't have to. The tape speaks for itself. The WNBA has a decision to make. Keep allowing this nonsense, or step up and protect their players. All of them, not just the veterans who've paid their dues. The fallout and what's next. The blowback after the game was immediate. Sports networks replayed the collision non-stop, and debate shows erupted. Commentators demanded accountability. Even NBA players weighed in. One said, "If that happened to Steph Curry, the whole arena would have stopped. Refs would have reviewed it. Someone would have been ejected." Fans weren't just upset, they were furious, and they had every right to be. The hit wasn't basketball, it was reckless, and it deserved real consequences. Merch sales, ticket numbers, and viewership are all way up this season. That's not a coincidence, that's the Clark effect. So why is the same league benefiting from her popularity turning a blind eye to how she's being treated? Stephanie White said it best, "You can't have it both ways." The league's front office released a bland, generic statement the next day. "We're reviewing officiating procedures." Translation: nothing will change. But fans and players alike are done being quiet. Some insiders are even calling for a new officiating panel or third-party oversight to investigate bias. That's how deep this controversy runs. It's bigger than just one player. Here's the truth. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about the standards of the WNBA. If a player can be knocked into a wall in front of thousands of fans and millions more watching at home, and there's no whistle, what message does that send? It says aggression is fine, as long as the target's popular enough. It says politics, grudges, or just plain laziness can interfere with how a game is called, and that's unacceptable. Stephanie White knew that when she stood on the sideline screaming at the refs, she wasn't just advocating for her star player. She was defending the principle that the game should be fair every single night. Clark may not say much publicly, but her grit speaks volumes. She keeps showing up, keeps dropping 20+ points, keeps playing her heart out for a franchise that's still finding its feet. But make no mistake, she deserves better. This can't be the new normal. Every league has moments that define its direction. This was one of them. And the WNBA has a choice. They can tighten up officiating, ensure player safety, and send a clear message that dirty play won't be tolerated. Or they can let this moment fade and watch fans slowly lose trust. Caitlin Clark will bounce back. She always does. But if this pattern continues, the question becomes, who will be held accountable? Not just for one missed call, but for a culture that seems willing to ignore harm as long as the ratings are good. The Fever fought hard that night. They didn't just lose to a better team, they were robbed. And Stephanie White, love her or hate her, had the guts to call it out. The league's on the clock, let's see what they do. Fans demand change. In the days that followed, Fever fans flooded the league office with messages, emails, and phone calls demanding change. Hashtags like #ProtectCaitlin and #FixTheRefs trended across platforms. It wasn't just frustration anymore, it was a movement. Fans wanted accountability, they wanted fairness, they wanted to know that the game they loved wasn't being manipulated by politics or bias. College coaches, sports analysts, and even celebrities weighed in. One tweet from a well-known ESPN analyst read, "This isn't just about missed calls, it's about fairness, safety, and the integrity of the WNBA. Step up at WNBA." Players around the league were divided, some supportive, others silent. A few even hinted that Clark had to earn her respect. But respect doesn't mean accepting dirty play. It means acknowledging greatness when it's earned and protecting players from dangerous situations regardless of their rookie status. This incident has opened a floodgate. Now, the spotlight is squarely on the league, the refs, and the officials in charge. The next few games will show whether the WNBA has listened or if they'll keep doing business as usual. A turning point in the season. This wasn't just another regular season game, it was a turning point. The Fever now stand at a crossroads. They can let the controversy consume them, or they can rally around Caitlin Clark and make a serious playoff push. The players are locked in. Clark, more motivated than ever, put up a season-high 34 points in the very next game. Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint. The team looked fierce, focused, and fired up. Stephanie White, still fuming, doubled down in her latest press conference. We play hard, we play fair, and we won't be silenced. The league can't ignore this forever, not with so many eyes watching, not when one of its brightest stars is being bruised game after game, not when fans are this loud, this loyal, and this ready to fight for change. In the end, this could be the fire that ignites something bigger than a single win. It could be the moment that forces the WNBA to finally grow into the league fans know it can be, but only if it listens, only if it acts, and only if it decides once and for all, enough is enough. What's happening in the WNBA right now is bigger than one hit or one missed call. Caitlin Clark's presence is changing the game, bringing in massive crowds, media attention, and money. But with that spotlight comes controversy. Stephanie White's explosive comments reflect a growing frustration, not just with the officiating, but with what many see as a league struggling to balance tradition, competition, and the weight of new fame. Are referees really turning a blind eye? Is the league doing enough to protect its most valuable players? Or is this just part of the growing pains of a league entering a new era? Let us know your take in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more on the stories shaking up women's sports.